betrayed me. You're not good. You're just a chicken. Chip, 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 chip.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for those fan-favorite films that weren't either critically or financially successful at the time of their original release.
You were born into a family that doesn't always appreciate you, but one day things are going to be very different.
Number 30, Atlantis, The Lost Empire. The 2000s were a difficult time for the Disney brand. This was an era where the company's animation division was struggling to adapt not only to changing technologies, but shifting expectations from audiences. Atlantis: The Lost Empire had a lot going for it with regards to its voice cast, which included Michael J. Fox, James Garner, and Leonard Nimoy.
I've seen it work.
No. Where is my daughter?
Well, she
has been chosen, like her mother before her.
What?
There was also a lot of hard work that went into developing world-building details such as the Atlantean language. Unfortunately, Atlantis: The Lost Empire didn't perform well enough at the box office to warrant Disney's planned television spin-off, which was canceled shortly after receipts came into the House of Mouse. Today, however, the film sits well with fans, who clearly appreciated everything that went into production.
Oh, you're getting a bill.
Can we go home now?
Come on, y'all. Let's get one last shot in front of the fish.
Say yuck!
Yuck!
Number 29, The Nice Guys. We always appreciate a good tough guy noir, particularly when it happens to be set within the rough-and-tumble 1970s. The Nice Guys only brought in $63 million against a $50 million budget, however, despite the presence of heavyweights Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling among the cast.
Did you fall? Yeah. Jesus Christ, you kidding?
I think I'm invincible. It's the only thing that makes sense. I don't think I can die.
The Nice Guys was also directed and co-written by Shane Black, creator of the Lethal Weapon franchise and screenwriter for such films as The Monster Squad and The Last Boy Scout. The film, as a result, retains much of Black's notable talent for charming, snappy, and witty dialogue.
At least you're drinking again. Yeah. I feel great. You know, nobody got hurt. People got hurt. I'm saying I think they died quickly, though, so I don't think that they got hurt.
The buddy chemistry between Crowe and Gosling was great, too. And it's this combination of talents that enabled The Nice Guys to gain a cult audience. Number 28, Showgirls. We don't know about you, but we would personally love to live in a world where Paul Verhoeven's Showgirls was an Academy Award-winning smash that ushered in a new NC-17 rated renaissance. Obviously, this didn't happen, but Showcase was basically inducted into the Bad Movie Hall of Fame, which is an honor unto itself, right?
If you want. Isn't that nice of you, darling? What are friends for?
We love how Joe Esterhazy's script takes itself totally and tonally seriously, while the performances of Elizabeth Berkley, Kyle MacLachlan, Gina Gershon, and Robert Davi dive headfirst into the shallow end of the histrionic swimming pool. Oh, and the pun is definitely intended when we're talking about swimming pools, as evidenced by Berkley and MacLachlan's iconic, let's go with sex scene? It's the stuff of which cult movie dreams are truly made.
What'd you win?
Number 27, Highlander. It seems incredible to think that a movie this slick, with such an inventive premise and with the soundtrack music of Queen backing it up, failed to perform at the box office. The proof is in the proverbial pudding when it comes to Highlander, however.
Why does the sun come up? Or are the stars just pinholes in the curtain of night? Who knows?
The film's reputation on home video allowed for it not only to receive multiple sequels, but even a television spin-off. This was despite director Russell Mulcahy's original Highlander bringing in less than $13 million against a budget of $19. This was where VHS and Laserdisc essentially saved Highlander from the trash can of history, since home viewers really fell for the film's lived-in world of immortal swordsmen and their lightning-fueled duels to the death.
I was born in 1518 in the village of Glenfinnan on the shores of Loch Shiel. And I am immortal.
Number 26, Inherent Vice. Question: how much do the opinions of critics or the box office receipts mean to you when deciding whether or not to check out a movie? Paul Thomas Anderson's Inherent Vice seemed to receive a buzz almost immediately back when it was released in 2014, but not exactly for the reasons it hoped.
Yeah, look, I forgot. I don't know. Look, all I know is the next thing, Shasta's missing, Wolfman's gone, and Glenn Charlock's dead.
Bjornson seems to think you're as good a suspect as any.
This adaptation of Thomas Pynchon's novel resonated with some critics, while others seemed to see the writing on the wall that Inherent Vice was going to fail during its time, but eventually find a cult audience. This ultimately did happen, thanks to word of mouth about the film's bonkers neo-noir nature. This didn't stop Inherent Vice from failing at the box office, however, to a nearly $5 million deficit.
Seeing as your effort to keep lines of communication had been limited, to say the least.
Well, I've been busy.
Number 25, Dr. Sleep.
So tell me, Bub, are you gonna take your medicine?
I'm not.
The name Mike Flanagan may have meant something to certain circles of horror fandom back when the director helmed Dr. Sleep in 2019, but how does anybody follow up the maestro Stanley Kubrick? This sequel to The Shining wasn't Flanagan's original work, and had a lot going against it with regards to the legacy of Kubrick's original vision of Stephen King's legendary work. Dr. Sleep didn't totally bomb at the box office, but it didn't exactly light things on fire either, and it was largely unfavorably compared to other works based upon King. Many of those who've watched Flanagan's work after the fact have come back pleased, however, leading to Dr. Sleep earning its share of cult status.
I'm just the prettiest. I assume you know my answer. Pity. So are we doing this or not?
Number 24, The Boondock Saints. It's perhaps easy in today's modern age of immediately available streaming technology to forget just how much impact home video used to have with regards to certain films achieving a cult status.
We're sort of like 7-Eleven. We're not always doing business, but we're always open.
That was nice.
An effort such as Troy Duffy's The Boondock Saints essentially came and went back when it was released in 1999, costing $6 million to make and not even bringing in a paltry $100,000 in receipts. Yet those at the video store on a Friday or Saturday night must have seen something about the Boondock box art they liked, because word of mouth began to spread. These saints became officially canonized as holy martyrs of B-moviedom, and a cult fascination with Duffy's passion project was born.
One day you will look behind you and you will see we three. And on that day, you will reap it!
And we will send you to whatever god you wish.
Number 23, Matilda. It was Danny DeVito who directed this adaptation of Roald Dahl's classic 1988 novel. Yet, perhaps falling in line with other takes on Dahl's unique work, Matilda struggled to find an audience during the time of its initial release in 1996.
I read this book last year in mathematics at the library.
You like to read?
Oh, yes. I love to read.
DeVito's film didn't exactly tank, but Matilda definitely wasn't any sort of runaway success. That is, until parents started renting Matilda for their kids from the video store, and those kids talked about Matilda with their friends. Before long, DeVito had a cult classic on his hands, a film that's now seen as a beloved classic from the late 90s.
Matilda found, to her great surprise, that life would be fun, and she decided to have as much of it as possible.
Number 22, The Black Cauldron. It was the film that almost bankrupted the Disney animation department for good, a production that took years and cost millions without earning even half of its budget back when all was said and done. Still, The Black Cauldron is fondly remembered today by those that appreciated this era of Disney darkness, a time when the company was delving into PG fare with a surprisingly forward-thinking and experimental spirit.
Here for the last time.
Go for his throat, sire!
Now, Pig Keeper, you shall die.
This adaptation of the Chronicles of Prydain book series wasn't easy viewing for kids that weren't used to being faced with deadly skeletons, malevolent magic, and stakes that were do or die. The Black Cauldron didn't hold anybody's hand, but thankfully, its cult reputation held it up from the abyss of celluloid oblivion.
Arise, my messengers of death. Our time has arrived.
Number 21, The Room. You know it. You can quote it.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Why are you so hysterical?
Do you understand life? Do you?
You probably don't legitimately love it, but you know you love the good times it brings to any bad movie party.
This is gonna ruin your friendship with Johnny. What were you thinking?
It's Tommy Wiseau's The Room, a film so legendarily bad that an entire fictional making-of titled The Disaster Artist was released to celebrate its awful nature.
Action! What line?
Make no mistake, The Room is poorly made, poorly acted, and was poorly distributed back when it was released/inflicted upon the public in 2003. Rumors soon spread about this strange film titled The Room, however, making more and more people decide they had to see it. The rest, as they say, is bad Z-movie history.
It's not over. Everybody betrayed me. I fed up with this world.
Number 20, Labyrinth.
You have 13 hours in which to solve the labyrinth before your baby brother becomes one of us forever.
Fantasy musicals aren't an easy sell. This one also featured puppets. Labyrinth underperformed at the domestic box office, opening at number 8 and grossing $35 million worldwide. With a budget of $25 million, it wasn't an outright bomb, but it was considered a major disappointment. In fact, the movie's lukewarm reception sent director Jim Henson into a depression, and it would be the last theatrical movie he ever directed. However, the film is now considered a cult classic, famous for its visual design, wonderful puppetry, and gloriously hammy performance from David Bowie.
Your eyes can be so cruel, just as I can be so cruel.
Number 19, Hocus Pocus.
Go to hell! Oh, I've been there, thank you. I found it quite lovely.
For many, Hocus Pocus is an annual Halloween tradition. Every year, we watch Winifred, Sarah, and Mary get up to comedic shenanigans in Salem, and we find something to enjoy every single time. But audiences were not having it in 1993. Despite being one of the Halloweenest of Halloween movies, Hocus Pocus opened smack in the middle of July. So people weren't really in the mood for an autumn movie. Combined with a tepid critical reception, Hocus Pocus could not produce any magic at the box office, losing Disney an estimated $16.5 million. But thanks to repeat television airings at Halloween, Hocus Pocus was resurrected from the dead.
Baked beans, what took these so long?
I'm sorry, Emily. I had to wait 300 years for a virgin to light a candle.
Number 18, Wet Hot American Summer.
When we first started hanging out together this morning, we were just friends. But things change. And I've fallen in love with you.
Until 2015, few people had ever heard of 2001's Wet Hot American Summer. But then, Netflix released the prequel series First Day of Camp, creating new interest in the original movie. Back then, stars Paul Rudd, Amy Poehler, Elizabeth Banks, and Bradley Cooper didn't have the same name recognition they do now. The film's script was also widely criticized, with many arguing that it was a poor parody of 80s sex comedies. As a result, the movie performed abysmally. Its widest opening was over the Labor Day weekend, when it was played in a whole 12 theaters. It ended up grossing just $295,000, well below its meager $1.8 million budget.
Let's all promise that in 10 years from today, we'll meet again, and we'll see what kind of people we've blossomed into.
Number 17, Dredd. It's hard to say why Dredd bombed, but the awful Sylvester Stallone movie from 1995 might have something to do with it.
You killed innocent people.
The means to an end.
You started a massacre.
I caused the revolution.
You betrayed the law.
That movie also performed quite poorly, grossing $113 million on a $90 million budget. But the 2012 version was actually a good movie, featuring a fantastic Carl Urban in the titular role, spectacular action, and a smart script from Alex Garland. Regardless, it still only grossed $41.5 million on a $45 million budget, dashing Garland's hopes of producing a trilogy. For whatever reason, mainstream audiences just don't connect with the judge. But those who give him the time of day end up loving him.
The Judge Dredd finally gets on the wrong end of a gun. And what he says is wait.
Number 16, Brazil. Terry Gilliam of Monty Python fame directed this surreal dystopian black comedy that explores individualism, bureaucracy, and governmental overreach.
If these people would just play the game, they'd get a lot more out of life.
Admittedly, that isn't exactly a recipe for a crowd-pleasing blockbuster. Brazil is an excellent movie, though, featuring stellar art direction and a wickedly intelligent script reminiscent of George Orwell. While it found some success in Europe, Brazil failed to connect with North American audiences and grossed just $10 million on a $15 million budget. Today, however, it's considered a cult classic. Gilliam would again find surreal cult classic status with 1998's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
One of God's own prototypes. A high-powered mutant of some kind never even considered for mass production. Too weird to live, and too rare to die.
Number 15, Children of Men.
As the sound of the playgrounds faded, the despair set in.
We return to the dystopia well with Children of Men, a bleak action thriller from Alfonso Cuarón. The story takes place in 2027, when an infertility crisis has threatened humanity with extinction and turned the world into a violent hellhole. It is an exceptionally well-made film, drawing Oscar nominations for its writing, editing, and cinematography. The latter two combine to create the film's lauded single-shot action sequences. But maybe the movie was just too dark for mainstream audiences, as it grossed just $70.5 million on a $76 million budget.
Why bother if life's going to make its own choices?
Number 14, Clue. If they had to pick a board game to adapt into a movie, Clue was probably the right choice.
Just checking.
Everything all right?
Yep, 2 corpses, everything's fine.
The game is tailor-made for a good story, featuring colorful characters, a murder mystery, and a fun setting. And Clue pulled it off remarkably well. While some argue that the movie is a bit gimmicky, like its inclusion of 3 different endings, the excellent cast makes it all worthwhile. Big names like Christopher Lloyd, Eileen Brennan, Madeline Kahn, Michael McKean, Martin Mull, and Leslie Ann Warren help keep things interesting. And Tim Curry brings exceptional energy and comedic wit as Wadsworth. But Clue was found dead in the ballroom, grossing just under its budget of $15 million.
I suggest that we stack the bodies in the cellar, lock it, leave quietly one at a time, and pretend that none of this has ever happened.
Number 13, Dazed and Confused.
Ma'am, I was just escorting your fine young son home from school. There are some ruffians about, and Oh, and Mitch, Carl, we'll be seeing each other again.
Like Wet Hot American Summer, this teen comedy features actors who would later become major names in Hollywood, including Mila Jovovich, Ben Affleck, and Matthew McConaughey. And almost no one went to see it. Sure, it did a heck of a lot better than Wet Hot American Summer's $295,000, grossing $8 million. But with a budget of $7 million, Dazed and Confused left the studio in a similar state. Regardless, the film is now an iconic piece of pop culture, with McConaughey's David Wooderson giving us plenty of memorable lines and memes.
You got a joint?
No, not on me, man.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Number 12, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
You really think you stand a chance against an A-lister, bro?
This movie is certainly an acquired taste. The story follows Michael Cera's Scott as he battles his current girlfriend's exes. The movie is shot in a very cartoonish and stylized manner, and it comes across as more of a visual comic book than a conventional film. However, mainstream audiences couldn't quite handle the unique content, and Scott Pilgrim only opened 5th at the box office. It quickly dropped out of the top 10 and grossed only $47 million worldwide. The movie was considered a huge financial disappointment, but its devoted fan base has ensured that it isn't forgotten. At least, not in movie fan circles. The general public forgot about it long ago.
I'll leave you alone forever now. Thanks.
Number 11, Heathers.
I just killed my best friend.
And your worst enemy.
Same difference.
Winona Ryder was just coming onto the scene in 1989, having starred in Beetlejuice the year prior. So while she wasn't unknown, she wasn't yet the box office draw she would become in the 90s. It's also likely that the storyline of Heathers threw people off, as the protagonist is a misanthrope who wants to blow up a high school. It failed to meet its relatively small budget of $3 million, opening with just $177,000 and finishing with a gross of $1 million. However, while it didn't find an audience back in '89, the cynical satire, dark story, and clever subversion of coming-of-age teen films eventually made Heathers a cult classic.
I mean, today was great. Chaos is great. Chaos is what killed the dinosaurs, darling.
Number 10, Donnie Darko.
Why do you wear that stupid bunny suit?
It may surprise you to find that Donnie Darko was initially met with a very lukewarm reception. While the movie is now considered a classic that can spawn hours upon hours of discussion, audiences originally thought it to be a confusing, pretentious mess. That said, Donnie Darko was never meant to light the box office on fire, and it was released to a very small number of screens.
It can't just be a coincidence.
It ended up grossing a measly $517,000 in the domestic market and $7 million worldwide. And while the movie recouped its budget, it failed to generate a profit. However, it enjoyed very strong DVD sales and word of mouth, eventually leading to its classification as a cult classic.
Why are you wearing that stupid man suit?
Number 9. Mulholland Drive.
I hope that I never see that face ever outside of a dream.
David Lynch is a director with a legion of fans, but who rarely finds success at the box office. That largely has to do with the surreal and often nonsensical nature of his films, including Mulholland Drive. The movie failed to make much of an impression at the box office. Its widest release was in 247 theaters, and it grossed just $20 million. With a budget of $15 million, the film could be considered a major financial disappointment. But Lynch has always been more concerned with artistic integrity than mainstream popularity, and Mulholland Drive is arguably his masterpiece. It's now considered one of the greatest movies ever made, even landing in 8th place on the 2022 Sight and Sound poll.
No, you're not thinking. You're too busy being a smart aleck to be thinking.
Number 8. The Iron Giant.
Guess you're not gonna hurt me, huh?
The Iron Giant is another classic that initially failed to make waves. The movie received stellar reviews, with some critics even calling it one of the best animated movies of all time. And while it received a wide release, it generated about $5 million during its opening weekend, leading to a hugely disappointing 9th place finish. Theaters quickly got rid of the movie, and it ended up grossing $31 million on a $70 million budget, leading the president of Warner Brothers to admit that they got, quote, slaughtered. Luckily, the movie enjoyed success on home video and television syndication, and it's now regarded by some as an underappreciated masterpiece.
And souls don't die.
Number 7. The Shawshank Redemption.
I didn't expect that the storm would last as long as it has.
Like most critically acclaimed Best Picture nominees, The Shawshank Redemption was adored by critics, but found little praise or attention from the general movie-going public. It was made on a $25 million budget and received a wide release in September of 1994, but it ended up grossing only $16 million. Many theories were posited regarding its failure, including competition from the equally acclaimed Pulp Fiction and Forrest Gump, and general audiences' lack of interest in prestigious prison drama. However, it escaped from its box office prison and saw great success on home video, where it was quickly labeled a classic.
I had to come to prison to be a crook.
Number 6. Office Space.
I'm also gonna need you to go ahead and come in on Sunday, too, okay?
Office Space is often touted as the quintessential movie for white-collar office drones. Unfortunately, it seems as if general audiences either couldn't relate or simply didn't care. While the film generated good reviews due to its accurate depiction of white-collar life, it grossed only $12 million on a $10 million budget. The movie eventually sold millions of DVDs and saw success on TV when Comedy Central began airing the movie in the early 2000s. It's now known as one of the funniest and most relatable comedies of the 90s, and it was even referenced in a Ted Cruz campaign ad, signifying its continued relevance.
It's not that I'm lazy, it's that I just don't care.
Number 5. Fight Club.
The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
Man, 1999 was loaded with great movies that bombed at the box office. Fight Club, as we're sure you know by now, is a great movie about consumerism, anarchism, and mental illness. What it is not, despite its title, is an action movie. However, Fox ended up highlighting the fighting aspect in the marketing, leading many to believe that this was a brainless action movie about fight clubs. The movie drew a young male demographic, and despite earning $100 million, it was considered a financial disappointment due to its $63 million budget, as its domestic box office take was only $37 million. The movie was re-evaluated on home video, and many people now consider it to be one of the finest movies of the 90s.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
Number 4. The Thing.
I don't know what the hell's in there. It's weird and pissed off, whatever it is.
John Carpenter's 1982 classic is often thought to be one of the greatest horror movies of all time. It's renowned for its intelligence and atmosphere, and its prosthetic effects are often considered some of the finest in cinema history. However, The Thing was regarded as absolute trash upon release. It received scathing reviews for its revolting violence and relentless bleakness, and it significantly underperformed at the box office. Film fans have continuously argued about its failure, with many pointing to its depressing tone, its ill-timed release near E.T., and the oversaturation of science fiction films at the time.
This is pure nonsense. Doesn't prove a thing.
Number 3. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. If there's one movie that defines the cult classic, it's the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This unique musical science fiction horror comedy blend was initially met with a very lukewarm reception, and it was quickly pulled from theaters due to a lack of interest. A Fox executive eventually talked distributors into releasing the movie on the midnight circuit, and it was here that Rocky Horror became a smash hit.
Oh, I just love success.
Its theater showings became world-renowned for their weirdness and fan interactivity, and it's remained in limited theaters for over 40 years, making it the longest-running film in history. Number 2. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination.
While Willy Wonka may be a classic today, it was all but ignored upon its initial release in 1971. While it received good reviews, Roger Ebert even compared it to The Wizard of Oz. It did poorly at the box office, earning just $2 million during its opening weekend and quickly dropping out of existence. It seemed like just another forgotten children's movie until the mid-'80s, when it found success on home video and TV. It's enjoyed continued success ever since, ensuring that the Oompa Loompas didn't have to sing Willy Wonka a creepy exit song.
Oompa Loompa Doompa-dee-doo, I've got a perfect puzzle for you.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Blade Runner.
You think I'm a replicant, don't you?
Blade Runner has certainly had a storied history. It initially received a polarized response, with some praising its intricate themes and visuals, while others criticized its unusual narrative. It also underperformed at the box office. The reasons for this are many. Audiences were expecting a conventional action sci-fi thrill ride, its slow pace and complex ideas threw off mainstream audiences, and it was released too close to similar blockbusters like E.T. and Star Trek II. It saw greater success on home video, and its numerous re-edits have garnered greater critical appreciation from both critics and audiences. It's now considered one of the greatest science fiction movies of all time.
Memories. You're talking about memories.
The movie's sequel would suffer a similar fate 35 years later, drawing acclaim for its story and cinematography, but losing the studio about $80 million. What's the best part about being part of a small but devoted cult following? Shout out your favorite underground picks in the comments.
Your job, I was good at it. It was simpler then.